Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sandbox Game live stream for Saturday, January 8th, 2022. It's the first Saturday, Alex. You came
It
back.
is the first Saturday.
Yeah,
It is the first
first
Saturday,
Saturday.
yes.
It's the
First
first
Saturday we
Saturday.
had a Wednesday also.
We're doing it all completely differently today than usual, folks. If you're watching it live with us over on youtube.com, twitch.tv, Theta, DLive, Facebook, or twitter.com/the Sandbox Game, you'll have an opportunity during this live stream to ask any questions that you want about the sandbox, about the metaverse, Vox Edit, the Game Maker tool, or anything else you want to know about the sandbox. Feel free to put your questions into the chat box that you are on, whether you are on YouTube or Twitch or any other service. We will see those come in live and answer them as they come in. Today on our stream, we're doing things differently, as I say. Alex, you have a significant change for today's stream, a tutorial of sorts, as we usually do tutorials here on Saturday. What's up? What's going on here today?
Well, it's more like back to basics than a change. It's we're reviewing some stuff. We've gone over all of this before pretty much, but we have got 2 game jams running at the moment. And so we are going to we're going to talk about how to properly submit your game for the game jam. I know it's probably more fun to watch us play the game jam games. I know it's more fun for me to do the game jam games than to just talk the whole time. But we do want to cover how to properly submit the game because these questions do come up a lot. So the more we can answer this question, then the less we have to answer it later. Hopefully. So real quick, let's bring up Medium, and let's see. Is there any news going on? Other than we talked about the game jams on Wednesday, about how they were starting. There's also this Mega City land sale. We can go over that real quick. January 13th at 1 p.m. UTC, there is going to be the Mega City land sale, and you might see some familiar looking things in these characters. I believe that's a CryptoPunk there. And there's going to be 61 regular lands at the normal 1,011 sand price, 95 premium lands at the 4,683 sand price, and 7 small estates for auction on OpenSea. It will be with regular sand, not Matic sand, and you will need ETH for gas. All right, so you can check out all of the details. Oh, I guess the CryptoPunk is from Times Capital, so I'm guessing this is a CryptoPunk that they own, and I think that's the first time that we're gonna see a CryptoPunk as a character that people could get through a sale. Let's see. I believe these are from the premium assets. So, oh, you know what? CryptoPunk is not part of the premium assets. Okay. I hadn't looked at this before. I did not come in prepared today, but you do get some pretty cool looking characters here. I wasn't really on vacation for December, but I was sort of on vacation for December. Usually I'm pretty involved in setting up the assets for these land sales, but this was actually a separate team who set these up. But they did some really great looking assets. I love this little robot dude. He's got all sorts of funny stuff going on with his face, and some other pretty cool characters. This throws me back to when I was first learning what anime was in the late 90s. So anyway, fun stuff going on there. We are doing a giveaway today. Lucas will be handling that. Hi, Lucas.
I will. How are ya?
We didn't say hi to Lucas yet. Shame on us.
It's okay. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm learning.
Yeah, like I just, like I said, I was winging it. I was doing it live today because I'm changing everything this week, and I was like, let's just chill, let's just relax and enjoy life here.
Yeah.
Hello, Lucas. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I am just chilling and relaxing, so we're good. We're having a good time.
I gotta say, your beard's looking quite amazing today.
It's ready to go, man. It's ready to just cut half of it off and get on with the new content.
Crying shame, but I'll allow it.
It's okay. My wife's not gonna let me cutting it off either.
Lucas just kicking down the bathroom door. Drop that razor. Nobody move.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I will.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna, not gonna
if I was
raise
just
it.
given
Whoa.
permission to do that, I
Woo.
absolutely will.
Trimmer,
Razor.
whatever.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big difference, Alex. Big difference, Alex.
Unplug the trimmer and nobody gets hurt.
If I go babyface, I definitely look like I need a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah, I haven't fully shaved everything off since 2010. It was the first year my wife and I were dating, and I shaved, and I looked kind of like Danny DeVito, and we're like, that's not happening again. So the sides can come and go. You know, I don't like shaving. It like comes back every couple weeks. Somebody said Alpha 2 must be coming up soon. Alex's stubble's getting thicker. And yeah, no, I'm just lazy. I don't like shaving. So I leave it for a couple weeks.
Is there some sort of a connection between stubble and alpha?
If it increases viewership, I will say that if you pay attention to the length of my stubble, it means nothing. Just
you know what, Alex? I think as an overall trend, I would disagree with that, because I definitely have seen when you are in a pre-call with me and you're like, I'm stressed, everything is going crazy, I haven't slept in 6 years. We always turn on this stream and you're like extra stubbly on the side, right? It's basically a full beard.
I guess so. I guess the connection is that I usually shave if I'm like going out in public. Not, you know, so many fewer eyeballs are on me in real life when I go out the door, but I care more about that for some reason than you know, however many hundreds of people are watching the stream. It's just
There we go.
No offense, it's not you, it's me. It's just
literally none taken.
Like seeing people like looking at my face, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with a friend or go on a date with my wife or whatever, and it's like I just, you know, I'll clean up today, because my wife doesn't really care if I'm shaved or not.
So we got a sand play game jam.
Yeah, no, so we were on this huge tangent. Like I said, it's Saturday. We're chillaxing. We're just hanging out. You're hanging out with us. This is now a shaving podcast.
There we go. There it is.
Beard bros.
There it is, folks.
Wizzy the Blues beard? Could I do that as a? No, you wouldn't be able to wear it at the same time as the hat, so it doesn't really work.
Yeah, you just have to pick.
What if there was like a version 2 of the hat that also had a
Was
beard
the
hanging
hat
in the front?
and the beard? That sounds like a good Halloween costume.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
That sounds
It's a trap.
that sounds like a good Halloween get up. Anyway,
Yep.
back to real stuff. So ending in let's see, today's the 8th. So ending in about 24 hours. Not exactly. Midnight UTC. Let's see. UTC is 5 hours ahead. So 7 p.m. So 29 hours from now. I think my math is right. I don't know if Andy's watching. I believe it's 29 hours from now. The Sand Play Game Jam will be closing. This question comes up a lot, and we'll loop back around to this in case anybody misses this part. But the submission for this, when you're submitting your entry, you're supposed to put the name of the game jam, and there was a difference between the article where it's like Sand Play Game Jam here, and then another spot it said something about Round 21 Game Jam. I don't see it now. Maybe they changed it. But there was confusion on the name of the game jam, and honestly, it doesn't. Okay, somebody said it's on the form when you submit. That part does not actually matter. You do need to put that it's a game jam game, but it doesn't matter if it says Round 21. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you put GJ Round 21 or if you put Sand Play Game Jam. I think that was just some miscommunication between the person who wrote the article and who set up the forum. Either one of those are fine. And even like if you misspell it or something, it's still fine, just as long as it has one of those in there. So that way, when a judge is going through all the pages of Game Jam submissions, and they are looking for the title of your game, they're looking for whatever you put there. That is the important part. Andy Ritchie said he's going to fix the form right now, 2 seconds. But if you previously put the wrong one, it's still okay, just as long as what you submit to the form is what's in the gallery, because people trying to scan for the title of your game, that's what they're going to look for first, is whatever you actually put. So either one is fine. So this game jam is sponsored by Round 21, who they do sporting goods. We did some cool tennis tables for them, which I don't think have been made available yet, but they're on the marketplace if you look at Round 21. They do soccer balls, apparel, all sorts of cool stuff. Really, really highly stylized, artistic stuff.
I was looking online at some of their stuff, and they have a really cool Bored Apes basketball they recently put out.
Oh yeah,
I
saw
really
that.
Impressed with it.
I saw that today. Do they have their Twitter? Is there a social link here? Usually.
Would you like me to pull up their Twitter link really quick?
Oh no, I got it.
Gotcha.
I got it. Right here. There we go. Round 21, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Whole bunch of apes on it. It's the same ape, but repeating. Looks
Seems
pretty
like
good.
a really cool company. Been following some of their stuff since the last time you talked about them, and I'm really impressed with some of their online content and just their marketing in general.
Yeah, I mean, the designs look really cool.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they're sponsoring this game jam. They are making up part of the pool of judges along with Sandbox staff. And at this point, I'm not going to go into too much detail about how to make a game for this jam because it ends in 25 hours. If you have not started on the game yet, I mean, it is possible. We've done it on stream. It is possible to make a game in an hour. You could even potentially, if you worked really hard, really fast, I'm not going to tell anybody to burn themselves out on it, but, you still have a chance to get in there. I wouldn't recommend doing custom assets for it because there's not going to be a lot of time to submit those for approval and get them approved, but I just put the link in the chat, and not Forever 21. No.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
No, very different. Very different.
Nope, definitely.
So link is in the chat if you want to check out the rules for that and get in on that jam real fast. What I will say about this jam is if you are submitting custom assets, because you're finishing up, you have until 12 p.m. UTC. Sorry, not 12 p.m. Midnight, which is actually 12 a.m. 11:59 p.m. UTC tonight, which is in just about 5 hours. 5 hours is 7. 5. Yes, 5 hours from now. To submit those assets because the asset submission form will be closing for the rest of the weekend at that point. And then you have 24 hours to finish up your game and submit that. So we want to make sure that Andy and me and my helper are able to sleep tonight. So get those asset submissions in there real quick, and we'll go over that also, how to get those asset submissions done. So that is the Sandplay Game Jam. Also, what was just announced is the Alpha Season 2 Game Jam, where we talked about this a little bit on stream. If you're wondering when Alpha 2 is, how quickly this game jam is starting and ending, maybe is a little bit a hint of how soon the Alpha will come. Maybe. There's no promises here. No, I'm not going to say anything about unannounced dates. But if people are thinking like, Alpha 2 is like way far off in the distance, time is relative. And yeah, that's that. So
not too far into the. It's not going to be too far into the first quarter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Prize pool for that: first place 20,000 sand, second place 15,000 sand, third place 8,000 sand, fourth through 10th places 1,000 sand. There has been no promises of everybody who submits gets sand on this one. We have yet to see if any announcements like that will be shared. How many alphas in total? As many as are needed to test the features that we want to get us into beta. I don't know.
Yeah, one thing to note about an alpha, if you aren't familiar with the terminology, generally in the games industry, alpha means that a product is not finished in its build.
Mm-hmm.
A beta means that the intended 1.0 product is finished and now we're bug testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be an alpha for as long as we continue to add features. And the features list is long. We are adding features every day. I get emails about it every single day. So just know that we'll probably be an alpha for a while, but the product is going to improve significantly over the next, if I was to guess, year. But in terms of different alpha seasons, we may at some point come out of the terminology of an alpha season and just continue to have an alpha game maker product. It really just depends on how much of the uh, dashboard / redemption mechanics change and that sort of thing. So,
Right. Um, so what's different about this game jam is you are actually able to submit a previous game jam game for this one if you would like to super polish up something that you've done before. So the prize of winning this, besides the sand prizes, is that we would like to publish the winning games into Alpha Season 2.
Which is super huge.
That puts
hundreds of thousands of eyes.
Yeah, so many eyeballs on your game, because it's not just the people who play the season, but it's the people who hear about the season, who see the videos of the season. We had I don't remember the exact number of players. Like, we had the 5,000 alpha passes, but some people played and then sold their pass off, and other people were able to play. So I don't have the exact number on that, but thousands of people played the alpha, and that is a lot of attention onto your game, which is a very cool very cool opportunity to have. So, if you have submitted a game jam game before, it is totally okay for you to take that game jam, make sure it's up to date with all the latest features, you work on any bugs, make sure it's super nice and polished, and make it the best experience that you can to submit for this game jam as well. Because there's not a particular theme on this game jam, except that that it's going to be part of the alpha. So make sure it's ready for prime time.
heck yeah.
All right, so I think that covers like what the game jams are. Now we want to talk about getting your games submitted correctly, and there's a few different things that you need to do. So if you are using custom assets, you do need to submit them for approval, and there's 2 steps to that. Sometimes people do one and not the other, or the other way around, and in both cases they're not going to be able to publish their game without doing both steps. So let's see, where's the custom asset part of this? Oh, and I'm going to paste the article for this alpha as well into the chat. Custom assets. So if you scroll down to about 3/4 of the way down the article, can we use custom assets in our game jam entries? Yes, you can. This has been true for all of the game jams since Joseph pushed for us to enable this. So you have Joseph to thank for this opportunity. Thank you, Joseph.
It's a lot of work. It's way too much work, actually.
It is
So much work to approve these. I'm sorry, Andy. That's what I'll say to the chat right now. Say thank you, Andy, because he's doing the work.
Yeah,
Andy Ritchie is a literal angel, sent from heaven straight to us.
I'll give.
He's
I don't know if she wants me to.
A demon, you know what I mean?
I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but somebody else has been super helpful on this. I just got an assistant, and her
I have
first
a feeling
week.
I know who it is. Would you please say who it is?
Yeah,
you don't know
that's
who
what
it is.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
No,
Brand new.
Okay, Julia says I can say her name. So
Oh, okay.
Julia is a friend of mine from college. She's my new assistant. Technically starts Monday, but she's gotten an early start with helping approve these assets. So that's what she's been doing all week, is just approving assets. That's been her job for the past few days, because we've had well over 1,000 assets submitted. So thank you, Julia. She's a little bit new here. I mean, she knows that I've been working here, but she just got a job. So Congrats, Julia. You just got the most boring thing to do for days on
You
end.
know what?
Just click and approve.
It's so essential. It's so essential, though. Like,
It's essential.
Julia,
It's
yes.
foundational.
Julia, while you're in the chat right now, answer me this: has the website told you to stop refreshing the page so often? Has the website completely denied you all access because you're approving so many assets?
I think I don't think so. I think it's been a
I
little
think
less
Joe's referencing
sensitive.
something from the past.
All right, because
I mean,
that would be a flashback for me. I would just like to. I'll share you the love if that happens to you. Just yeah, yeah. Andy says yes. It's after 2,467 clicks. I'm not sure. If
Were you
that's accurate.
counting? That's very
he's counting. He's counting. You know what I mean? No, it's great. Okay, so I got a question here, Alex, that I want to answer really quickly before we get on to the next step, because it's already off my page on the left, and I don't want to forget.
Okay.
A user asked over on YouTube.com, how do we make it so that the individual voxels of our creations are illuminated? And the way that you do that is in the top right of your screen, there's a little cross that looks like a star. Excuse me, I slapped my microphone. But a little cross that looks like a star. And all you have to do is just click that when you're on the color that you want to. And all of those colors in that in the template there are going to light up in that way like a neon. So it's a pretty straightforward process, but Alex, you're showing them live, aren't you?
Yeah.
Showing them live.
He's
Look at
amazing
that.
like that.
Boop. Now all of those voxels will be iridescent.
Wow.
So very straightforward, super easy, barely an inconvenience. That's gimmick infringement.
Something to note is that Vox Edit displays a good bit dimmer than the Game Maker. So this is, and we mentioned this on the asset submission forms, you always want to test your assets in the Game Maker before submitting them, and that'll make more sense in a minute. But make sure that when you upload these, open up the Game Maker, place them in your game world, and see what that glow looks like. Before you submit for approval, you have the chance to re-upload and replace that asset, so that way you can fix any color issues you might see. And if you look around on the artist Discord, or you ask around on the artist Discord, somebody probably has an image that we made a while ago that shows side by side what the glow colors look like in Vox Edit compared to the Game Maker. It might even be, I think that asset was actually uploaded to the dashboard. I don't know if that's available for people, but it can help with like this blue would probably be like piercingly glowing, like, you know, like the meme of the laser eyes. It was just, yeah. So you know, you want to, you know, reduce it down in brightness so it's not quite so blinding in the game, and then maybe saturate it a bit more so that color appears less white. So anyway, to actually submit your assets, there is a whole tutorial in this form. So when you click on this form here, sorry, this is the application, not the asset submission page. So you get the link to the asset submission page when you fill this out. So if you already have an artist account, you don't need to apply again. If you did this for a previous game jam, you're good. If you're in the Game Maker Fund, you're good. If you're in the Creator Fund, you're good. You can just submit your assets normally, but you do need to still use the asset submission form, which if you can't find that, just ask one of us and we'll get it to you. I'm not going to post it in the chat right now because we're trying to pump the brakes on submitting assets for this jam, so that way people have time to actually complete their games. So once you've gotten your artist account and you get access to submit that game, submit your assets for approval, you get a link to this other form, which I'm going to bring up here. It's funny, I said I'm not going to share the link in the chat, but I mean, if you look really carefully, you can see my URL bar, but we're not gonna type it out right now.
Hackers, they're gonna go over it. They're gonna just rewatch this over on YouTube later, you know.
Yeah. I guess I can full screen it. There we go. Aha. There's no rewind.
Yeah, you can never go back. It's not automatically recorded later to watch over on youtube.com/.
I think they can rewind it while we're live still.
You can actually over on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame. Click rewind the stream, jump back 2 minutes, pause, and stick it to Alex right now.
Ooh, stick it so good.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Alex, I wanted to do one other thing.
Yeah.
And it's actually super not important, and it's partially offensive. But
Oh my.
a couple of weeks back, we were in a live stream like this one, and we had interviewed Deadmau5, and I noticed
No
that
big
some
deal.
users.
No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good interview. It was insightful. It was
a lot
very
of
much
fun.
like it was very much like go down the rabbit hole, learn a lot about crypto, and like just getting it all smashed into your face if you're not familiar.
Mouse
But
hole.
one very important thing happened that a lot of people were asking me questions about. And Alex, I appreciate the fact that you, sir, are you have a lot of what do I want to say? You have a good personality. You're a good-hearted person.
Oh, okay.
You're warm. You're caring.
Thank you.
You
I feel a
have
big butt coming here.
you have yeah.
One big butt.
But
The
I
pause.
just want to say for those people who were shocked by Deadmau5's behavior, fuck it. And I'm saying that because we've never established that this stream is actually allowing curse words. Okay.
Okay.
We've never established that like we would do that if but we just don't wanna. You know what I mean? So and I say that because starting up next Monday, we are going to start having a daily show for the good morning, afternoon, evening show that I will be having a 5-day-a-week stream on this channel, and that's going to include interviews. All right, they're not set up yet. I'd love to see some of the people that are here in the chat, people who are, people who want to be interviewed, who have created games, who have made art in VoxEdit, that sort of thing. Send me messages about this, and then also know that your interviews, while of course we're going to have this kind of conduct, I'm going to interview you in a very clean and professional and standard way. I don't necessarily expect you to change who you are, just like we don't expect Deadmau5 to change who they are. We don't expect Snoop Dogg to come on if Snoop Dogg was to come on for some reason. You know, I fully would go into a Snoop Dogg interview expecting this guy's probably going to get high on the live. You know what I mean? And there's nothing I can do about it. I don't want to change who they are. Yeah, like just let it happen.
People.
Yeah, so and the culture goes all the way to the top. I remember one of the first times that we had like an all staff meeting where one of our two co-founders, Arthur, he put up a slide, and the slide said something similar to what I just said, like, but on the slide in plain text in this like professional presentation to the entire company was like, F it, you know what I mean? Just like on there. And I was like,
remember that.
yeah, right. And I was like, man, did this guy really just put that up there? But then it's like, oh yeah, it's just really, really human, right? Like we're just human beings out here, and like it's normal and it's whatever. And like, yeah, we can be professionals when it's time to be a professional, but also
we make games for a living.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're all
Look
we're
at
all
the
people.
Sandbox
So
and see who the partners are. I mean, the Walking Dead's on there, Snoop Dogg's
Right,
on there.
right,
There's a bunch
right.
of people in here that are not PG, and this is
Right.
just like the real world. There's going to be a lot of different areas with a lot of different feels and vibes.
Yeah.
Care Bears probably aren't going to be cursing. The
Right,
Walking Dead
right,
and Snoop
right.
Dead absolutely are. So
Right,
people
right.
just need to recognize the environment that they are in and read the room.
Right. So I'm going to continue to conduct those streams as if it's like, the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon or something, except I'm not as funny as him probably. So, but nonetheless, I'm not going to also go like, okay, but make sure that you follow all these guidelines from the FCC, because we're an international company with an international platform, all on the internet, and not really having to worry about that. As long as you're respectful to the humans in the room, it's all good to go,
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to say that because I was laughing at how many comments were coming in about like, wow, they're being really crass and all these other things, and it was like, nah, like they're just being them, right? And
Yeah.
it was fine. The conversation was really engaging and fantastic, and
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
And we
yeah,
don't
let's
we don't
get
have
back
we don't
on-
have a bleep button, so
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't
exactly.
use it if we did.
yeah, don't expect me to start swearing though. That's not in my that's
I
not
mean,
in
I'm
my
never going to do that again on this live
Yeah.
stream. I'll tell you that right now. But I just wanted to
but
do
we
it the
don't
one time.
we don't have a
to
problem with
establish
guests doing it. It's
It
you know,
happens.
that's
It's gonna
them.
happen.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Uh, the size of that butt just hung in the air for a little while.
I really enjoyed that, by the way. That was wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex is talking about butts on the live.
Talking about Joseph's butt on the live. That's what we're doing.
Wait, are we talking about Joseph talking about your butt?
Oh
No,
my
no,
word.
I'm pretty sure that was Joseph's butt. Wherever the farts came from, that's where.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Um,
So, by the way, on the way, just for fun, just because we're on personal clips for no reason at all. I'm also going to try to learn like 5 languages this year because I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat in all these other languages. So like send me a word of the week or something if you speak multiple languages because I'd love to learn some new stuff. I am going to be trying to learn first French and then Korean and then probably Portuguese so that I get the free Spanish, and the free Italian off of the French. And then go back to like Chinese simplified or Mandarin, whatever.
I think Joseph is saying he has too much time on his hands.
Oh man, I'm freeing up
Obviously.
so much time, Alex. I'm freeing up so much time because you gotta, we're gonna have the best. We're gonna have the best streams ever. That's where I'm going with this. That's all.
Actually, Joseph, I want to learn Korean myself.
Very good. Maybe we can learn together. I'm gonna use an app. I can send you the app that I'm using. It cost me like $60 a year or something like that for it. It's really good.
I would be very interested in finding out what that is.
Cool.
All right. So,
Care for Arabic? Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. Somebody said
Arabic
care
is one
for
of the
Arabic.
hardest languages to learn.
You know what?
There's
That's
so
fine.
many different dialects of it.
I understand, but also let's do it. It's just another region of the world that I want to go to and explore anyway. So let's go.
I like it.
all right. So, back to today's tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
Getting sassy over here.
Freak it, dude.
Uh, pick a side. Don't ride the fence with the.
You know, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I'm going
Like-
to ride the crap out of that fence because I'm having a lot of fun with you falling off of it.
That's right.
What the HE double hockey sticks is going on?
Wait, one second. FCC, open up.
Ooh, they're there.
Good grief. Oh boy.
You guys want to do a giveaway sometime soon?
What time is
What
it?
time? What year is it? Oh my gosh, it's been 37 minutes and we're
Yeah,
not even-
let's open up that giveaway. We're
You don't
gonna
have to if you don't want to. but
no
you can.
open it up when you see it get to 250 entries. Just cut it. So
Okay.
give me
You
give me
wanna-
a link in the Discord.
Done.
Oh wait, I can't because Joseph's there. You just paste it in the
Dun,
chat
dun, dun.
and I'll repaste it.
I got it. No,
Okay.
I got it.
Oh, Joseph's got it. There you go.
That's what
There
I'm
you
here
go.
for. That's
There
what
you
I'm
go.
here for, my guy. That's what I'm here for.
Producer
right now.
doing the producing.
There you
Oh,
go, forums.google.com or whatever. That link coming from the Sandbox game is your link for your chance to win a Wizzy Hat NFT that you can use inside of any combat-based game in the Sandbox game when the metaverse is open again. So check that out. Get in there. Get it while you can.
Facebook
Yeah, those are
Live
gonna run
says
out
we're
super
playing
fast.
Apex Legends. What?
Hackers, dude. I can't believe you would play
Hackers.
Apex Legends, dude.
How? But why would it even say that? I don't.
You know what? It's
Can
all
you-
good. Ubisoft, you're welcome for the free promo, dude. Thanks for being a partner.
There we
You
go.
know?
All right. So, asset submissions. You're making a game. You made some custom assets in VoxEdit. What do you do? Well, you should have clicked on the artist application form that was in the Game Jam rules. It's right there. And you would have gotten an email that says, hey, you now have an artist account. You get a special button that nobody else has. That button looks like, well, yeah, I don't have it there. I need a...
Hack.
Whoop. What the?
What happened?
Oh, for some reason I was clicked on the restream chat and I was trying to hit F12 or F11 and it just like it freaked out over there because I wasn't on the browser. There we go. I know what I'm doing. I'm a nerd. There we go. I was just trying to get my browser bar back. So you're in VoxEdit. You click the file menu, export to marketplace, and it's pretty straightforward from there. What you need to do, you need to fill out the name of the asset, a description for it if you want. Just put in the information that you want there. It's just a step-by-step thing. But there is a point where you want to pause and not click submit for approval. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here real quick. Because you want to test your asset in the Game Maker first. You want to know that it's working correctly before you kind of lock it in. Because once it's published, you can't re-upload it and edit it. You will need to upload a new asset to do that. So let me go to my inventory real quickly here. We're going to go to entities. And do I have any unpublished?
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
I want to know what Joe is listening to, because he's been jamming out for like the past 20 minutes, and I'm a little jealous.
The dulcet tones of our sweet voices.
That's literally what I'm actually listening to, and in the back of my mind, it's there's on a constant loop a TikTok song that's just stuck in there now.
Oh no,
so,
that's the worst.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good because it's a song that's not even like a song. It's like that's it, and it's just stuck in there. Also, over on YouTube.com, you all have asked me to say a word that I'm pretty sure means my love, Habibi. And so,
No
if
bing
that
bong.
is the case,
It's a kind familiar. It's something
freak
you say
your
to somebody
life,
you're close
Alex.
with.
Are you serious right now? No talking about bing bong out here.
No!
Dude. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about that. Don't say it. Don't put it into the space, all right?
Oh, I didn't. It wasn't me.
Wait, what happened? I missed something.
No. Julia's saying
Alex.
bing bong in the chat, and Joseph's yelling at me for it.
Alex, what do you want to say to Joe Madding right now?
Bing bong.
If you don't understand that reference, that's not what they say. That's not what they say, but the chat will know. The chat will know, all right? There we go. What's
I
up,
don't know what
baby?
you're
Take me
saying.
out to dinner.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's right.
All
That's right. It's a problem. It's a problem. We've invaded now, all right? Alex is trying to be serious. Alex is trying to teach you serious stuff, okay?
No, he's not.
So, trying to teach you
I
real
am
things
too.
right now.
I am too.
We are 20 submissions away from closing this thing out, just so everybody
All
knows.
right. Get those, if you want
Hacker,
Wizzy
man.
the Blues hat, you got to
Get
submit
it.
to that form.
Get it!
We're going to roll. All right. So we've uploaded this asset. We've said name, a description. We're going to change that to, say, Ally Fighter. There we go. That avatar, that doesn't do anything. That is a vestigial limb of a previous Game Maker build where you used to set the avatar as a behavior. You could actually make a game without an avatar. It didn't work because you couldn't play. But you would set behavior for the avatar. Now we've got that little spawn point. So this is an old. This will eventually disappear, but that's just an old thing there. So we've got that. We can select our categories. We're going to say he's the sci-fi city person. Oh, I can't click that. And then none. Continue, and you know what? This is an old asset. That's why it's doing that. I know why it's doing that, but we're gonna, because it's got that humanoid and technology
power
tags.
through.
Yeah, no, I skipped some stuff because I know the hacks. So we get this send for approval button that my head is covering. Let's zoom out a bit. There we go. We get the send for approval button right there, right above my head, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And don't click it yet. Don't do it, because you're not ready yet. First of all, you don't have this add catalysts and gems button, but if you wanted to do that, you can hack it a little bit. You're gonna want to go back to your inventory, and you're gonna want to go to the submitted page for this. So we're going to go to. We're just gonna modify this URL real quick and hack it. Oh, I broke it. 1 second here. Let me go
I can't
back.
believe.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
He tried to push that mod button. He tried to cheat. He
No,
has a little
I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to mod. We're we're back to where I wanted to go. No, I can't show my unpublished inventory because I make assets for partnerships, and sometimes I can't show that stuff yet. It's under NDA, so I have to be very careful about what I click on.
Can't believe it.
I'm gonna spill the beans here. So
I love beans.
I love beans too, but I don't like spilled beans. Like, I don't love beans enough to eat them once they've been spilled.
I do. I'll eat them right off the floor.
This explains where the farts come from.
What's wrong
So
with you?
It does.
Who
I'm a
hurt you,
garbage
Lucas?
person. What are you doing?
Oh no.
Okay, so we've got you can't really see it too well because of the bar up here at the top. You can see it a little bit. So I'm at sandbox.game/language code for English, assets, the name of the asset, and then the asset ID code, and that's how all of the asset URLs look. Now if I go to edit, I get this little upload thing here. The name disappears. It's got this $ID equals, and then @step equals 1, and all this extra stuff. We don't want any of that garbage. We want to go straight from our inventory on this main page for the asset, and we can type attributes at the end of it. And the page that it gives us, it didn't work.
Alex, did you die? What did you die? Alex is a cheater, dude.
Why didn't it work?
There
we go. Okay.
Features.
I think I misspelled attributes. I think I did a typo on attributes. Okay. So if you spell attributes correctly, it goes to this page where you can set the catalyst and gems. Now, this does not mean that you have the catalyst and gems. It does not mean that you will be able to mint it later with those catalysts and gems, because you have to actually own the catalysts and gems in order to mint it like this. But what it will let you do is, if you're trying to make a boss or a weapon or something fancy for your game, you can set this up so that way in your draft of your game, you have these extra properties. I think it's the first time we've shown this on stream, how to get to this page. It used to be just part of those 3 pages. It used to be 4, and you used to be able to just do this as part of the regular upload. We had ideas changed, and then this never kind of got added back into the workflow. I'm meeting with somebody next week to try to get this back to normal. But for now, you just go to your regular asset page and type in attributes at the end of the URL. So you get your asset ID /attributes, and then it takes you to this page. When you hit continue, it'll bring you back to your edit asset page, and now you can see that it's got gems and catalysts, which you will need to own those in order to mint. So if you set up a whole bunch of legendaries with a whole bunch of gems, you're going to have a hard time minting, because those are going to be hard things to get. So, try to be reasonable with what expectations you set for yourself in creating these things. So that's how you get started with those. Then you've got this send for approval button. You don't want to click this until you have tested your asset in the game maker. So as soon as you upload and go from that name page to the categories page, it is already in your inventory, saved and ready for you to test out. So you can hit upload, type in a name, hit next, go to the categories, and immediately open the game maker and start testing your asset. Every time you upload, you will need to reopen your game to edit in order to see the latest upload. So if you're already editing your game, say you have a dual screen setup, you're editing your game, you upload an asset, it's not going to show until the next time you open up your game. All right. So you've tested your game. You like the way your assets work, or if you don't like them, you can hit upload again, and it'll say, do you want to do a new asset, or do you want to replace an asset? You can replace the asset that you've already uploaded with a new one, as long as you haven't submitted for approval already. Okay, so when you send for approval, it kind of locks it, and you can't make any changes. And once a moderator approves it, then it's really locked in, and it takes somebody with admin level access to pull it back. So you really want to make sure that you're ready to go when you hit that send for approval. So you hit that send for approval. The next thing that you do is you grab that URL, not this one. You don't want the one that says uploads, ID, step equals 3. You don't want that one because that makes it very difficult for the moderators to manipulate your URL so they can get to the right page. You want to go back to your inventory. We're just going to open up this one. And you want the clean URL that says assets, the name of the asset, and the ID. And that's all you want in that URL there. You copy and paste that into the form. Where'd the form go? There it is. You put in your email address and the asset ID. Mm-hmm. And those are the only two things we need. We need the email address because people submit bad URLs all the time, and we need to tell them, hey, we can't approve your asset because the link is broken, because you forgot. What happens a lot is people forget to click that send for approval button. They don't click that one. And we can't approve an asset that hasn't been sent for approval. I just broke the site. I've never seen a buy now and send for approval on the same page.
Well, there it is, Alex. You're a hacker. We talked about it earlier. No, he's got all those admin privileges, folks.
Yeah,
so
I know.
He breaks it regularly. He gets to see all the things we can't see.
Using forwards and backwards can mess it up too. So,
yep.
So if you haven't clicked that send for approval on the asset, there's nothing for us to approve. We'll go to the moderation page, and we can't approve something that you haven't submitted for approval. If it's an admin, like I can see that it's an asset. Moderators can't even see that it's an asset. They get like this is a bad link screen. So make sure that URL is correct, that you have submitted it before you send this form. And then once all of your assets have been approved correctly, you'll be able to submit your game. And that will be the next part that we talk about. But before that, I believe that we have a role that we need to do.
We do.
What is our
240 submissions?
All right.
Also, I would like to say one
240.
thing. There is one person that submitted the form roughly 12 times, so I deleted all 12 of their submissions.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. So I understand what you're trying to do. I respect the hustle, but I'm letting you know.
I don't.
It's not happening.
Disrespect on your hustle. No cheaters.
I don't respect the hustle. We don't. It just makes our life harder.
Yeah.
What was that number again?
All 12 of them. 240 submissions.
All right. It would have been 241, but somebody had to get greedy. If it happens once, like one repeat, so you get 2 entries, we will just remove the duplicate entry, and it's okay, because sometimes maybe like you click too fast and Google was like, you wanted to submit this form twice. That could happen. That's a possibility. Maybe you thought it was a different link, and you thought maybe it was a different giveaway. You saw another link come, and you're like, oh, I want to submit to that one too. That could happen. I'm sure that happens all the time. But if you get 12 in there, that's intent.
That is intent.
That's
and
intent.
They even tried changing their username for some of them. So that's how I knew they were just trying to game the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We don't.
Hackers, dude. Cheating.
All right.
No cheating.
It's a 2.
All right. Wait, it's a 2?
It's a 2.
Nice.
It's gonna roll low numbers. It's gonna roll high numbers. It's gonna roll middle numbers. It's a random number generator.
You gotta love seeing it right there.
It was a 2.
Some good stuff. Who had the fastest fingers in the West? You know what I mean?
Who had the fastest? 1 second, let me pull
or
that
the
up
East, I guess. Probably the East, actually. That makes sense. They're better at games than me, I'm pretty sure.
On the East Coast, yes, we're definitely better at games than you.
Okay, first of all, I meant the real East. All right. That's what I... No, hey, Alex, so while we're getting this announcement really quickly, I'm going to hit up some questions that have been coming through, and I've been trying to save them on my screen.
Absolutely.
The first one is, when will the assets for the sandbox be open for everybody to submit? This is over on youtube.com. Forgive me, I can't read in Arabic yet. Work in progress. But that has been announced recently as something, of course, we have been building towards this for a while. It's going to require, at least first, that the assets are on the Polygon network. So there's a little wait for that. But that's one thing. Secondly, can you talk about, Alex, liquidity rewards? Will there be any liquidity rewards? I assume the NFTs for MSAND/Matic staking. Or should we keep it in the Sand ETH LP if you want those NFTs?
So my understanding is that as long as the pools exist, both pools will qualify for the NFT rewards. That's my understanding of it. I haven't been told otherwise, but I feel it's a safe assumption, and if the question comes up, I will push for everybody who's in a pool to be eligible for those rewards. Personally,
Yeah.
I am out of the Sand ETH pool entirely, which may be disadvantageous to me. Is that a word? Disadvantageous? No, that's a word.
It's an enunciation thing. Yeah.
So I've got a good handful of land, and so I get that multiplier on that pool, but the rewards for the MSAN pool became so much larger that it made more sense for me to just go into the MSAN pool. So I converted most of my sand into MSAN, and I'm very much into the Matic pool now. And so yeah, I want my January NFT reward. So
I did the same thing, but I left one token in the Ethereum pool.
Just in case of this.
Just in case. Yeah.
Just in case.
The myth-
Just in case.
Just to clear up with relation to the NFT, by the way, based on historical knowledge, the Mythical Yeticorn asks, I only have 7,000 LP. Is there a certain amount you need to claim the rewards? Also, small flex. You need a fraction of an LP. You need any investment in it at all. That is all.
Only 7. What? That's
Only 7,000 LP in the. Oh, geez. That's a bunch of money.
That's a
That's
lot
like
of
half
LP.
of what I put in there, dog. That's a lot of money.
Like tens of thousands of dollars.
That's a lot of money. Arctic Mosaic asks a great question as well. It says, is there a way to sort for, quote, basic assets on the marketplace, since the Game Jam said your entry must include only assets you own or basic assets?
Unfortunately, no. It's just something you have to pay attention for while you build. And that was...
Now, you said before that basic assets were created by one account, right?
Yeah, it's TSB Game Account 1. We're going to look at the Game Maker in just a minute. So, Joseph, are we ready to announce the winner of that drawing for Wizzy the Blues?
Absolutely. Yes, user number 2 over on twitch.tv was Chainsaw Kitty Games.
Congratulations. You just won Wizzy the Blues hat. I'm going to be sending that and the Wednesday winner out tomorrow, because Sunday's usually the low gas days, typically.
Historically.
So let's go ahead and open up the Game Maker. Joseph might freeze up for a second here. He'll be right back.
I can't believe this guy.
There we go. You're
He's
back.
doing it on purpose, Joe.
You're back.
Just made me frozen.
You're back.
Look, you could see a little hang up button because Alex, he just hung up on me. What a cheat! No, I'm kidding. He didn't. It's wild and out today, Alex. I'm so excited to get started with this new year, new me. You know what I mean? New content, having fun with you guys. Once again, I want to stress while this loads for Alex, if you guys have made a game recently, if you've recently won a game jam, if you recently made some great things in VoxEdit that got a retweet here and there, share it with me. If you only if you could, if you're willing to come onto a live show like this one and talk about your creations, your content, your feelings, get interviewed, that sort of thing. I'd like to do that with content creators in our community. Once again, I have had some interviews in the past, but I want to build not just those superstars, but have superstars come up from within the Sandbox community. So get ready, hang out. Let's have some fun 5 days a week.
All right. So, unfortunately, there is not a way to search for basic assets. And on the marketplace, they don't even display. So what you can know is that if you clicked the plus button to add it to your inventory, it is not a basic asset. That's the easiest way to know. I mean, if you can remember all the assets you added or didn't add. Now, a lot of us have added a lot of assets and may not remember, like, was that there before when I added? Did I add that a year ago, or was that one that just popped in there at some point? So what you can do is when you're in your library panel, you click on an asset, and if it's been made by TSB Game Account 1, that means that it is a basic asset, because that is the account that we use to upload and put assets into the game maker as a default basic asset. That's the easiest way to know. Now, if you've already placed it, I don't think it displays. Yeah, it doesn't display the name when you click on an asset like this. But it does it not the name of the user, but it does display the item name. So you can say Wolf Den. Okay, look up Wolf Den. So I can see this is mostly going to be an issue for people who want to clean up a game that they made previously to submit to the game jam. It does require a good bit of checking. You can open up your hierarchy panel and look at what all your different assets are here. So you don't have to like fly through your world and click on everything. But you can click on these to see what they are, and just check all the names there. Unfortunately, I don't really have a faster way of doing that until we get like a sort by artist or something like that in the library. These are all sorts of things that are recommendations that we're making as we test internally. We've got a whole laundry list of improvements to make to the interface and usability. So those are the basic assets. Another thing that you could try doing, I don't want to recommend this because it could mess up your game. If you unadded all the assets from your inventory just for this game jam, but that can mess up another project that you're working on. So don't do that. I would just check if you're making a new game. Just be careful to check. You could even make a new account for making a new game. So create a new user account to make this game specifically, and submit that game and make sure it's like a clean account. There's no other assets added to your inventory for it. But if you've already started working on your game, you're going to need to check those assets kind of one by one. The reason why we're doing this, and we explained this on Wednesday, but I'm going to explain again now. The reason why we're only doing assets that you made, basic assets, and any NFT assets that you own is that in order to publish for the alpha, you're going to need to mint your assets and own everything that's in the game in order to publish it on the alpha map. So if you win, you are going to get some training on how to mint your assets. You're going to be given the resources you need in order to mint your assets, and go through that whole process in order to publish your game to the map for the Alpha 2 season. So it's a great learning opportunity. But if you've added other people's assets into your game, you're going to be beholden to their schedule and their plans for that asset. You know, what if they don't want to mint their asset right now? Or what if they want to mint it, but just for themselves, they don't intend on selling the asset to other people? Like there's all sorts of other questions that have to get answered, and roadblocks to publishing your game, where you'd have to go and modify your game to get rid of any assets that you can't claim ownership of when it comes to publishing time. So that's why for this game jam in particular, it's no marketplace assets that you don't own. You haven't bought the NFT for them. So it's a little bit of extra checking, but it will make your life easier when it comes time to publish. Now, for the actual publishing of the game, we've got two buttons up here. They're slightly obscured by the scroll bar here, but one looks like a paper airplane and one looks like a globe. The globe one does not do anything right now. It looks like you're publishing it to the dashboard, but we don't have a moderation team in place for publishing to the map yet, because that's coming later. So this is kind of just this is like a preview of what that looks like. Nobody's out there checking these to publish them on the map because we haven't enabled that feature for everybody yet. So what you actually want to do is you want to click the paper airplane, which shares it to the drafts gallery. You want to aim your camera somewhere nice. You know, you want to take consideration. You can minimize your hierarchy. You can pull in the asset properties tab, and you want to find an interesting looking spot. and carefully position your camera. And then when you click that share button, it's going to use your current view as the screenshot for publishing. Set the name of your game. Make sure to use that Game Jam title. And like I said before, it doesn't matter if you use the GJ Play or the Round 21, whatever, the two different names that were there before. As long as it's one of those and it's consistent with what you submit on the form, so that way we can find the game. Put in a short description, and then you click that share button, and it should almost instantly get shared to the drafts gallery. You might not be able to find it easily though. And so we get this question a lot. I've been answering this a lot the past few days. How did I zoom like that? That's not the question, but I just saw that. I use a combination of shift and the arrow keys and scrolling. So I get impatient. So you can use WASD to move around. You can use Q and E to rotate, and you can use space and C to go up and down. These are all in the shortcuts. If you go to the gear and you click View Control List, it's got all the controls. And then I also use the scroll wheel on my mouse to do that. So if I really want to crank that zoom fast, I'll hold Shift and S and scroll back all at the same time to go as quickly as possible, or the other way around. So that's how I do that. Anyway, when you share to the gallery, it gets shared in the order that your game was created, not in the order that you shared. So we go to the drafts gallery. Sad. Why is this not working? I mean, it looks like it's working. It's here. So these were created probably today. Whoever uploaded this started working on this today. As you go back, they were made yesterday, they were made last week, they were made last month. So if you started working on your game 2 months ago, you're probably on page like 200 something, because we've had several game jams that have had like hundreds of entries. So there are 440 pages right now. That's over 4,000 games have been uploaded to the gallery. So we do plan on having search, filter, and sorting features in an upcoming version, hopefully as soon as possible. But you will have to jump back through the pages. If the game maker says your game was shared successfully, you can trust that. I've never had it say that and not had the game shared on the gallery. It has always been shared 100%, and I've never seen that not work. It will send an error if you don't have an asset published. There are potential errors that could pop up when you go to share, but if it says that it's shared, it is shared. You may just need to look back past page 50, past page 100. It can take a little bit to find it. This is our judges have to do this every time they go to look for a game, and when there's 300 games in a game jam, I can see Joseph dying inside as he listens to this.
I don't know what you mean, Alex.
His normal cheer and vigor is just gone. Thinking about those orbs.
The life force is draining out.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What about PTSD there, John?
A little bit.
All right.
No, it's a lot. Weeks worth of just literally clicking until the website tells me I can't click anymore, and then clicking again. You know what I mean? But hey, if you don't want to click, if you're here, I see some people in the chat asking some questions about when we're playing some games. That's part of the programmatic content 5 days a week, starting on Monday. So join us. We're going to be playing the games live all the time. Always play your games. Interviewing people.
Join up.
Saturday is tutorial day. We were playing games on Saturdays because there wasn't a lot of tutorial stuff to share, but we've been getting so many questions, not just me, I know Andy and our other ambassadors, probably Joseph, probably Lucas, have been seeing a lot of questions about submitting games for Game Jam. So we're trying to answer all of those today. And they're questions we've answered before. So we're reviewing old content here, but the questions are still relevant. So we're answering them.
Yeah.
And we want to Julia's taking notes right now with timestamps
because
we're going to clip this whole stream.
Every time we have a new Game Jam and there's, tens of thousands of dollars to potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, like, we want to answer your questions so that you can get that money, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get that sand, get those lands, whatever's available, whatever is eligible, I mean, this Game Jam that's coming up puts you in Alpha Season 2, your content, your game in Alpha Season 2. People are hype about this, so let's get these questions answered as well as we can, We can play games on Monday, Don't worry about that.
Owen K
is coming.
Owen K is asking about getting his assets approved right now, and please, I know it's a rush. I could stop the stream right now so I could approve your assets. That's what I could do right now. But then
then I would cry.
we've got 3 people working on it. We've got Andy Ritchie, who's in charge of the whole Game Jam. We've got my assistant Julia, who's been working on them all week because we've had
killing it,
over 1,000 assets submitted, and it's not
Julia's doing it right now.
It's not a fast process to go through it. Julia's working on it right now. Andy is working on it right now, and if I wasn't streaming, I'd be working on it right now. So it's not. This is important for us. We're putting off. I'm putting off other stuff that I have to work on for the game officially to approve Game Jam assets. So we value this heavily. The one thing I would say is if you submitted a while ago and for some reason they don't seem to be approved yet, it might be that you got an email saying there were some reasons that we weren't able to approve. So one I mentioned earlier that pops up a lot is that you might have not clicked the submit button. You may have submitted to the form, but you didn't submit on the dashboard. You have to submit on the dashboard because it is impossible for us to approve an asset that hasn't been posted for approval. I don't have, as an admin, I don't have the ability to force your asset to be on the market. I think our back-end chief technical officer can edit the database in the back end and force it, but I'm not going to ask him to do that for an asset that wasn't submitted properly. So make sure you can always go to your inventory and check your entity assets and see if the status is pending, and that will pending or approved. Those are the 2 places you want to see them. If they're pending, we're getting there as quickly as we can. A reason that it might not be approved, even if it was properly submitted, is if it's infringing on IP. We can't approve assets that are obviously an IP. So just today we saw we saw One Punch Man and I think Chun-Li from Street Fighter as submitted as assets, and I'm sorry, they looked good, but we can't approve those because those are intellectual property of another company. You need to have written permission from that IP holder and email it to me for me to go, okay, yes, you've got permission from Capcom or from Konami or from whatever studio is in charge of that thing, because they can slap you with the lawsuit. They can slap us with the lawsuit. If it
becomes a struggle.
It becomes a struggle. So we are looking forward to having lots of partnerships, and having official assets for those things. And we've seen people, we have people who have been creating in our ecosystem and have either joined the Creator Fund or joined the Game Maker Fund or been an ambassador and worked their way into eventually becoming staff, who have become official artists. Well, I'm gonna drop names. Cody and Lozen, who did some of the earliest like Snoop Dogg stuff, and it's now an official partnership. Now they
Cody and Lozen worked on the Snoop Dogg stuff.
well, I don't know if they. So I don't know. I wasn't paying too
Cody,
closely attention.
Lozen, would you like to...
I don't know if they worked on the official Snoop Dogg stuff, but they did some Snoop Dogg stuff before we were partnered with Snoop Dogg,
okay.
they did some artwork, and so it's okay to make that artwork. It's okay to do fan art. Like, we love fan art, but we can't publish it to the marketplace and have you mint fan art. But Cody and Lozen doing stuff like that Snoop Dogg stuff. Koda's made Snoop's elbows. Oh, on the giant statue, right? Made Snoop's elbows on the giant statue, I think. They became staff artists after making that fan art. So we saw their fan art. We're like, you guys are doing great art. You guys are doing great stuff in the game jam. You guys are great and active in the community. They're super cool. And so we
just kidding. Cody created some accessories. Snoop's just specifically the elbows. You know what I mean?
Just the elbows.
Like
just
the whole
elbows.
statue.
The most important part of a Snoop Dogg is the elbows. Obviously,
It's
that's
hardest
Only
part of the body
elbows.
to recreate. That is the most talented portion
Only
of the
elbows.
body.
Ladies
The
and
elbows. Everybody knows.
Hey,
So-
so
elbow macaroni.
Alex, can I get a minute here real quick?
Get in
'Cause there's
there.
like
Get in
billion.
there.
There's a
I
billion
know.
questions
I
out
know.
here,
I
and I
know.
want to
I
hit them
know.
all.
Yeah.
And I don't even have them all.
Would you check
So
the chat?
there's. Yes, so 2 questions coming over on youtube.com. One says, I'm currently building out my 3x3 estate and would like to add my team to one build. Is it possible to add collaborators to your estate build? Is there a limit to how many? So yes and no, you can have your collaborators work in a variety of ways. If you are building out a 3x3, I assume you're creating some custom assets. If that is the case, then you should have one artist creating your assets, maybe 2. So you could have multiple different assets. Then they upload those to the marketplace via your account. For easiest convenience, they send you the files, you upload them, and you put them into your game maker that way. That's the fastest way to have 2 people work on a single project. Also, you may have a narrative designer, somebody who's better at writing than you. Not that you're not great at that, but just saying, this is also helpful to the team. So you don't have to think as the person who's essentially assembling all these parts together. You've got your narrative designer, you've got your game maker, you've got your artist. Maybe you have a second artist on the team as well. So now you've got 4 people. This is the standard practice that we like to talk about in these game jams. Winners can be up to a 4-person team, officially speaking, on some older game jams. So just a suggestion, but there is no technical limit. However, there is no multiplayer accessibility right now in terms of can multiple people edit a single file or that sort of thing. The same question came up with, hey, can we get that to be a downloadable file? But the fact is, if you edit something and someone else edits something, there's no simple merge for those files, right? So you still would have the same problem and need to use the same solution of having one designer. All of the default grass says Sandbox Game as the username, not TSB-game-account-1. Is all the grass non-permissible too? Most prepackaged items in the game maker are split between 2 accounts.
Okay, I didn't realize that was the case. But if it says the Sandbox Game, that's also okay. Okay, yeah. So,
I'm fairly sure that's never going to get minted because that's Seb's account, right?
Well, that's the thing. We did have items going up for sale from that account for the alpha content. So, possibly? That's actually a really good question, and I did not realize that those were coming from this account now. You've stumped me.
Can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Yeah, initially I think some of these were part of the alpha content, and they weren't basic items before, and now they might not even be basic items now. Let's see. I can hacker man it.
All right.
Let me see if these are basic or exclusive.
Charlie asks, how many alphas are there before the full game release? Well, Charlie, we talked about this a bit at the top of the show, but there is not a hard limit to a number of alphas. However, it's important to understand that alpha is the very first stage of game development. In any asset or any game development, you always have alphas, multiple tests, where you usually have closed alphas and you have closed tests or internal testers that say your product needs this change or what have you, right? And you change the product during the alpha. Then you have a beta phase, which is to say all of the content has been added, but we may have bugs to fix. And then you have a game release. You have a gold, typically release, which is to where you take your whole full content and you press it to a disc for shipping. Obviously, we don't have discs for shipping, but nonetheless, this is the process. So, what year is it? They still press discs, Alex. I promise.
I don't believe you.
I can't believe you've done this.
I haven't gotten a new game on CD since the 90s. That's not.
I got a new game.
No, that's not
disc,
Sonic Heroes.
The last new game I got on disc was probably the Final Fantasy VII remake.
The one that just came out?
Not the one with the DLC that just came out, but the last one before that, like 2 years ago or whatever. But nonetheless,
okay.
You got to get the.
That's oddly recent.
It's oddly recent. I did do that, and I think there was only a PS4 at the time, but now I could get the PS5 version. Baby, what's up? Hey, Doom 4 floppy install. I'm doing it. Don't tempt me. I'll get a stack of floppies that's as tall as my ceiling. Don't worry about it.
I have a couple floppies still. I mean, I still have my games from the 90s. I've still got Lego Island. I've got the Weather Channel game. What was it? It was cool though. It was a point and click adventure, kind of spooky for kid in the 90s. I've got some old flight simulators.
Oh, hey, who doesn't like that? This is I got a flight simulator too, but now it's digital. What's up?
There you go. So I'm trying to find.
He's gonna get the answer about this Sandbox game Grass, and if he doesn't have the answer before the end of this stream, we'll tell you on Monday when we start up the show. There will be a Q&A section. There will be a gameplay section. There will be sections for interviews, but probably not in the first one because I don't have one scheduled currently. Nonetheless, the question comes in from GamerDoc over on YouTube.com 2 minutes ago. It says, can we use our Alpha Pass from before to play the next Alpha? GamerDoc, there are two portions to this answer. One is no, because there will be another pass. But the second is you don't need to have a pass to play the content in the next alpha. As we have done lots of feedback surveys, currently the direction is that people have overwhelmingly answered that they would like to at least be able to play everything, whether they're earning while they play or not. People who have the Season 2 Alpha Pass will be able to play to earn. So just know that you'll have an eligibility to play to earn if you fill out the form. I'm not sure if it's closed already, but over on twitter.com/thesandboxgame, we posted a form for your feedback from Season 1. So make sure that you have filled that out if it's still eligible for you to fill out. And watch our Twitter for more eligibilities to get into the Season 2 section of the Alpha. All right.
That form is still open, and I dropped it into the Discord chat if you want to drop it into all the other ones.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait.
Guy Lucas, over. What's up?
Are we doing a second giveaway?
No. This is the form he was just discussing for the feedback for Alpha Season 1.
I was very focused in, and I was not paying attention. I was like, wait, what?
This is only for those people who have an Alpha Pass currently.
Okay.
Right. But nonetheless, I'm going to put it here in the chat so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This feedback form increases your eligibility for getting into Season 2 if you had Season 1, because you can give relevant good feedback about Season 1, about your gameplay. It'll ask you specifically about each of the experiences that you played and your rating there. GamerDoc says, I filled it out. That's very good.
When Joseph says good feedback, that doesn't mean that you have to say nice things. That means you need to say
that's right.
Useful
Quality
things.
feedback.
Accurate
Useful
things. If you played Dungeon of Dummies and you were like, man, this sucks. Please tell us that it was bad. Don't
Tell us
say
why.
it's amazing.
But tell us
you know what
why
I mean?
it was bad.
Exactly.
Don't just say like, "Oh,
Exactly.
this stunk."
Yep.
Like, well, what about it?
Uninstall game sucks. You know what I mean?
Were the
Don't do
jokes
that.
not were the jokes
Yeah.
not funny? Could the writing have been better? Was
Yeah,
there
yeah,
a
yeah.
game-breaking bug you encountered?
Did you
Absolutely.
continually get stuck in one spot?
Yeah.
Total
Constructive
Hill
criticism.
says, but everyone with Alpha Pass 1 will get Alpha Pass 2, right? No, not
No.
necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. This
Can
is
you
just,
do it
that's why I
if
say
you
increase your chance.
don't have an alpha pass? You know what?
You won't be able to fill out more than over half of the form if you
Is
didn't
it-
have an Alpha Pass
is
because it's got
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
it-
them for those gated contents.
Okay.
That you remember,
That'd be
like
why,
when we
yeah,
played
yeah.
live and we were showing you every one of those experiences live, and a lot of people were saying, "Well, I can't get in because I didn't have that." That said, there will still be chances to get Alpha Passes, whether you got the first one or not. You're not cut off, right? This form is for those people who already played in Alpha 1, played all the content. And then the second, like what'll come up later, is probably more of those Twitter contests, probably more things in the lives, doing it the same way we did before, but, having fun. Play to earn.
Oh God, Lozen. I had to scroll back to understand what you were talking about, but okay. So I do have a confirmation. The grass is basic, meaning that you can use the grass. So if it says Sandbox game or TSB game account 1, either way you should be safe, because even if somehow one of the Sandbox game assets, typically we go from published to mint so fast on Sandbox game account that you don't have an opportunity to add it to your inventory before it's minted. So it would be very rare for you to have any of these assets from Sandbox game, which is the account that we mint like Care Bears stuff on, Smurfs, things like that. So normally all the assets you see here are minted NFTs. I don't know why the grass in particular is on this account. I think it has to do something with the way the alpha content was finalized. But the Sandbox game account, the wallet for that should have plenty of these NFTs in it if they do get minted. So I think either way we'll be able to work with that. When it comes down to the end of it all, if you have some content in your game, like oops, accidentally there was an asset that wasn't basic or didn't belong to you in your game, you would and you won, you could have the opportunity to fix that. You would need to fix it. The thing that we don't want to have happen is that you have a whole bunch of assets that other people created and they're not willing to give it to you or to sell it to you in order to publish your game. So I would say keeping it with the Sandbox game account, we're going to work with you to make sure that you can publish your game.
Hey, Alex.
What's that?
Alex, can you clear your search real quick on the game maker?
What?
Thank you.
Good grief. I know why, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even look when I did it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hey, we're allowed to use all sorts of words, right?
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Good grief. This is the danger of doing live shows.
The danger or the excitement of?
That's right.
I mean, is there a difference? Is there a difference between those things?
Yeah, no. Danger and excitement usually go hand in hand. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Digging it.
Umudi, I'm not sure how to say your name. So we discussed this earlier. The games are uploaded to the drafts gallery in the order that they were created, not in the order that they were shared. So if you started on your game a week ago, it's probably already a dozen or two pages deep. If you started on your game a month ago, it's probably well over 100 pages deep into the gallery. So it can be quite a challenge to find them. We are trying to work on an update to allow searching and filtering and sorting. But the order that they post in the gallery is not related to when you've published it, or shared it, I should say, because sharing and publishing are kind of two separate things. Sharing's the paper airplane, it goes to the drafts gallery. Publishing is sending it to the metaverse map to mint onto your land, which is not available yet. So I'm just making that distinction. But the reason why it doesn't immediately share to the first page is that people would just keep sharing their game constantly to keep it on the front page. So that's frustrating and not fair to anybody. So game creation order is a semi-fair way to do it. It's kind of like first come, first serve. But that's about it. All right, where were the next part?
Is there a next part?
Yes, there is a next part, because now you got to submit your game to the game jam. You've shared it so this happened to somebody. I'm not going to name any names. Somebody shared their game to the drafts gallery, but they never filled out the form to apply to the game jam. So their game was not reviewed by the judges because the judges didn't know it was there. And that's it's just that the judges need to have a list of what games to check, because there's about 4,000 experiences in the Game Maker gallery. The judges are not going to look at every single experience to see if your game is there. So you got to submit to the form. It's in. There's a warning here. Maybe we can make that bigger. Be like, warning, just as big as text as possible. You have to submit it to this
the whole
form.
screen.
Sign.
You have to do both stages. You have to do the share, and you have to do the form submission, because otherwise the judges just won't know that it's there. So this gets linked for each game jam, and you need to put in your name. You need to put in an email. You need to put in your wallet address. You need to put in any teammates that you were working with. And you need to put the title of your game. Now, the title of the game, this is where you want to make sure that you put your the game jam name. So you need to share it to when you share it to the drafts gallery, you need to make sure you put in game jam. What was it? In the title. I think it was. Where'd it go? Andy, what was it that we're supposed to put in there? Oh, here it is. Alpha Season 2 Game Jam. And then the title. But if you had previously filled this out and you put the GJ something, whatever. Oh, that wasn't even for this game jam. That was for the It's difficult when we're running two game jams at the same time. I'm getting my wires crossed here. So in the previous one, there was like an inconsistency in the naming. Doesn't really matter as long as whatever you put on the form matches what you shared it as. That's the important part. Title of the game, short overview of the game. That can be basically the same as what you put in the description here when you share it. Both will be fine. A GIF of the game. Now, we do have some suggestions. I don't know. There used to be a like tutorial kind of. I don't think it's on here anymore. But there's a few different ways you can do this. Most GPUs now come with some sort of screen capture software. If you have NVIDIA, it's Shadowplay. I don't know if AMD has something. Even just Windows itself has the Windows game, whatever they call it. It's like, I think it's the Windows key and G. If you press it, it brings up the Windows games overlay. And that has some screen recording options in there. You can use OBS. I like OBS. That's what we use to stream. Really useful tool, both for streaming and screen recording. So you do any of those things, and you can record like an MP4 file or whatever to your desktop. You can use ShareX Yeah, so there's a bunch of different tools at your disposal. If you just look up how to record your screen, those will all work. You will need to do a screen recording because you do have to submit a YouTube or video link of gameplay. This is how we make, during the Game Jam award ceremonies, this is how we make the videos where we announce the winners, is we collect all the videos that you submit, and we edit together a video of the top 10 and the second place and third place winners, and then we just play the game live on stream. The first place winner, we play the whole game live. So you do need to submit that also, and then you can take a small snippet of that and use a site like I like EasyGIF. I think it's just easy.
GIF?
Yes, I say GIF. Get over it. I've always said GIF. You just are addressing this now. I've always said GIF.
I'm going to address it every time, Alex.
Fine.
Because while the official creator did call it GIF, and that is their distinction to make, it is not a Jurassic interchange format. You know what I mean?
I mean, I am okay with people wanting to say GIF, as long as they say JPEG.
I say JPEG.
Folks, the fact that I can take Alex on such a tangent so easily
is a proof that I have ADHD.
It's a proof that you're
I'm just going to derail this whole stream by wincing at the word GIF.
I mean, you can say GIF and I won't win, so I think that just makes me a stronger person.
Ooh, but who's the better gamer? Is the question.
JPEG. Wait, JPEG. JPEG.
I'm taking a JPEG of this right now.
But the P uses a f sound for photo, unless you call it a pahoto.
But there's not an H there.
And
in photo there
Henry
is.
Ford originally created the automobiles, but they've improved since then, and we don't call things
Well,
the same.
that's it. Lol. Moving on.
I could make this
sorry.
argument for an hour and nobody would win.
No opinion either way.
So hard. I'm gonna die.
Are we getting played out? We're getting
No,
played
I
out.
might have played it out. It's all played out. You know
We're
what
40
I mean?
minutes over anyway. Who cares?
We got the chat. We got the chat going nuts on this right now.
Blame Joseph. Okay, so the graphic interchange format file. How about I just say that? I'm going to say graphic. Is it graphic
no idea
or
what you're talking
graphics?
about.
Graphic
It's definitely-
interchange format.
It's definitely Jurassic. Yeah.
Okay, so the Jurassic interchange format. It'd be Grassic, right?
Yeah.
The
Jurassic
graphic-
interchange.
Jurassic
format, yeah.
interchange format. Fine, sure. I don't care. The Jurassic interchange format file. The way you can make it is you can go to EasyGIF.
Now I want to make a sandwich.
That's actually that's easygif.com is the site that I use for this stuff. It's a great site. It's got some ads, but it's a free tool. You can do video to Grassic. Joseph disappeared.
He left. He's just like, I'm done.
He just yeeted
I'm
out of there. Just chair stream.
It's a nice chair. I'd be okay with it. I know how you feel about office equipment.
Oh, I'm mad at Jif Peanut Butter because they were pro GIF. And I grew up eating Jif peanut butter, and it was very disappointing to me. So I still got some downstairs. What's extra disappointing is they make a low sugar version, or like no added sugar version. It's actually higher calories per serving, per same size serving. It's higher calories without the sugar.
Those monsters.
Because the oils and stuff are more calorie dense for the same volume.
But is it good calories or bad calories? Because there's a big difference.
It's like
Oh no, that goes so good together. Oh wow.
Is that
I'm
Monster?
sorry.
What do you?
No,
Red Bull?
No, so I had I had a nice scoop of GIF peanut butter.
Yep.
And I was pairing it with this brand new raspberry lemonade Mountain Dew called Spark.
Ooh. It probably tasted like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my mouth.
Where else would a peanut butter and jelly sandwich be?
All right. So anyway, so this site, you can upload a whole video. I think there's some limits on the size. Max is 100 megabytes. There you go. 100 megabytes. So, cut down the video if you can. Yeah, sponsored ads. I have ad block. I don't know why it's not blocking those, but whatever. It's a.
I think that's a joke about all the stuff all brands I just dropped right there.
Oh, I thought they were talking
Product
about
placement.
Oh yeah, no, Jif peanut butter. I've been eating you all my life. Just to sponsor us, I would wear a peanut butter hat.
I'm not
made out of
wearing a peanut butter.
I will wear a
peanut
Mr.
butter logos on it.
I will wear a
I'm not
peanut
gonna-
costume on
I'm
stream.
not
Give me a lifetime supply. I've got two
Okay.
small children. I will take a lifetime supply of peanut butter.
There it is.
Whoa. Okay. What is Get rid of that. I don't know what that was. Bye, Destiny.
There it is. Dark Exodus is going to make a peanut butter asset for you. So
There we go.
you can just be a walking
That
jar
sounds
of GIF.
delicious.
I'd love it. Wizzy the brown. I'd say that's like Wizzy the orange. Wizzy the peanut. Mr. Peanut and Wizzy just strolling down the street. Anyway,
Oh, they would
Back-
fight to the death.
back on focus. Good grief, you get like. You guys have been derailing me the whole stream.
On purpose.
This is-
100%.
I don't know
Where's-
what you mean by that.
They're both fired. There we go.
That's it. I'm going to start my own show.
Hey Joe, I just got fired. Can I have a job?
You got it, dog. You
There
got
we
it.
go.
Boom.
You got it.
All right. So, use the tools at your disposal. There's great ones out there. Just look for, you probably already have video recording software on your computer. There's easy ways to convert video to GIFs or GIFs or APNGs, although
is
I don't
actually
think you can
silent.
submit an
It's an
APNG.
if. It's an if.
It's a question mark if. If? And I'm just going to start calling them ifs. And that's about it. Oh, some images of the game are helpful too. Screenshots that we can share on social media and stuff. And submit. And that's it. But
One
just make
question
sure
I would
you
like to ask.
follow the instructions. What's that, Lucas?
How long, on average, does it take to hear back after a submission of the assets and things like that?
Well, if everything went well, you don't hear back. I don't. We don't usually we've got hundreds of people submitting stuff, so
It's
we
true.
don't usually have time to email. If you'll hear back if there's issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in the case of the game jam that's ending tomorrow, if you haven't heard anything back, I would check your spam. Make sure that you didn't get an email from Andy saying, hey, we couldn't submit these assets because reasons. This is IP infringement, or you forgot to submit this for approval, or just the link doesn't work. We can't, for whatever reason, this link is not working. We can't open it. Maybe there's a typo in it or something. There's a bunch of different reasons why an asset couldn't be published, but we try to resolve those issues as quickly as possible. I'm going, as soon as I'm done with the stream here, I'm going to be helping make sure that the rest of the assets are submitted. So if you are trying to submit your game, and we have a 24-hour, we're closing the asset submission 24 hours before the game jam submission. So if it comes to midnight UTC tonight, which is in about +5 would be 9, so in about 3 hours from now, if you try to submit your game to the game jam and it says, hey, this asset is not approved, you need to get these assets approved before you can submit. Message Andy on Discord or Twitch or Twitter. That's Andy Ritchie. Andy, if you want to share your contact info in the chat there. And he's in charge of those, and we will try to help make sure that those approvals happen. And that's about it.
Can I ask one more question?
No.
Okay, fair
Sure.
enough.
Can't believe.
Yes, sure. Yeah. What's up?
There was actually one thing, and somebody brought this up in the YouTube chat, and this is something that I've wanted to bring up. and this might not be the right place to talk about this, but regarding like IP infringement and things of that nature, let's say somebody makes a TV, but instead of calling it Sony, they call it phony. Or instead of making a subway sign, they call it sub K. Like, where does the line get drawn as far as what people can do and how far they should stay away from that IP infringement side of things?
Well, I think parody names are fine.
Okay.
Because that happens all the time in media of, like phony brand appliances. I that's see we don't see it as much now because the companies making movies are doing product placements, so they are making the arrangements to basically put an ad for the real brand in their thing, which is obviously not something that most Game Jam competitors are going to be able to do, but this is still totally okay to do a phony brand TV, because Sony can't come in and say, oh yeah, your phony brand infringes on our Sony one.
Yeah, think of it like a Viacom children's show, right? Like in I don't know, like 10 years ago, they had the show iCarly, and they would have, like, instead of having Apple computers, they had Pear computers.
Yeah,
and
that's been going on since the 80s.
So you just
banana computers from Bloom County.
If it's similar but not the same, then most countries. Now keep in mind that all of these rules vary by country, so it's not like we can make one definitive answer. Different claims from different locations may get different kinds of copyright strikes, and so we have to keep that in mind. But my face instead of my space, back when people used that service, you know what I mean? So there's
people
all sorts of
MySpace
different
anymore?
Alex.
What year is
Alex, officially speaking, MySpace.com is probably still one of those top 150 websites in the world, but nonetheless.
I mean, I haven't been there in a while, but last I saw it was
exactly.
Weird. It was like Spotify kind of. It was weird.
I think Jack Black bought it and just drove it into the ground. I really don't know. That's a completely ludicrous statement.
Totally isn't it? Yeah, Jack Black can drive nothing into the ground. He is he's a patron saint
of rock and roll.
Of rock and roll. Cacao.
And now we went from peanut butter to Jack Black, and we've come full circle.
So now you push that submit button right there over on the forum.
So Sane Asylum says, my daughter made a house, but she saved and went back to edit it, and now it seems that it's locked. We can't get the place saved. I would say go to the Discord support. It's probably something really, really simple. Maybe just like something on the user interface isn't clicked correctly. So the people on Discord can usually be pretty helpful. So check out I'm not sure if you're talking about Vox Edit or the Game Maker, but one of those support channels on the Discord should be able to help you with that. All right. Did we cover everything? I don't even remember what we talked about today.
We definitely covered everything that you needed to know gradually over an hour and a half of how to submit your assets, your creations, your et-ceteras in the Sandbox Game Jam competition that is ongoing right now, closing in 3 hours. There's another Game Jam right immediately now. You can do...
Correction.
Yes.
The Game Jam competition isn't closing in 3 hours. The asset submission for it is closing in 3 hours. And then you have 24 hours after that to actually submit your game. So we are closing the forum on asset submissions in 3 hours to give us time to make sure everybody's assets are approved and no new ones are flooding in.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you. My bad. I did the same. So
you almost killed Sage 4.
I know. I'm sorry, Sage 4. I'm sorry. I had so much, like, in the past when I was the only one doing it, and I don't know how Andy is like managing this right now, but I would close new like asset creation a week before the Game Jam ended to be like, okay, now I can breathe. Now I can click things, because you get so many like people were just sending whole Excel spreadsheets to me, and I was like, what? This isn't in the form. It was wild. So I appreciate you all.
Wild West days.
Thank you for the correction. Nonetheless, you can also immediately get started on your next Game Jam creation. So the Game Jam, the Game Jam after this is for Alpha Season 2, and the winners will be eligible to be placed in the Alpha itself. So that'll give you a little sense of a timeline for those people asking when Alpha Season 2. Gives you a sense of a timeline there. You can see the link in the chat from the Sandbox game right now if you want to know more about the Alpha Season 2 game jam. The theme is open-ended. Make it what you want. Make it the best game you can make. As long as it's your game, you're good to go.
And if you already have a game that you've made, you are welcome to polish that and make it as clean and awesome as possible. Just keeping in mind that you can only use basic assets, which if you're unsure what those are, that they have the. Oh, I closed the game maker. If you click on the library, they were made by the Sandbox Game account or TSB Game Account 1, as shown here. Those are the basic assets, or you own them as an NFT. You bought them on the marketplace. You won them from a giveaway here. You got them through a land sale, just one that's an actual NFT that you own, or assets that you uploaded. And this is what we spent the whole video talking about. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, rewind back to the beginning and grab some popcorn.
This was a great stream. I'm actually going to rewatch it, I think, and I'm on it.
There's so many different questions that have come in about this. And Julia, you're right. Thank you. Spot on. Thank you for helping. The Shoemaker game that should have gone live at 3 p.m.
It's
UTC
probably
today.
live. It's probably up there somewhere further back.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not featured on the gallery right now.
Yeah.
So you will have to look for that, unfortunately. But nonetheless, that should be there. If it's not already there, this is up to the original creator of that content to upload it. So
NFT game airdrop. Why are you watching this stream instead of going to your wedding?
Oh no! Wait, maybe it's their wedding day and they're just trying to de-stress. Maybe they're sitting in the back, like with the phone over on YouTube.com, and they're looking at it and they're going like, "Man, whew, I'm about to make the biggest commitment of my life, and it's gonna be the greatest day ever."
There we go.
I appreciate you.
Have a good wedding day.
Best of luck with your day. It's a great day. There's a lot of people around. You know, I kind of felt weird about my wedding. Not like my wedding was great because I was like, all right, let me solve this problem right now. Click, click. And we went to Hawaii where there was no one because nobody wanted to go to Hawaii for a wedding, which was great because then you don't have to deal with all the humans that you're basically just like wrangling. And like it's overwhelming when you have like 100 people in a room or whatever, right? Like you're just like, I gotta touch each one of those people like with some kind of conversation, and like, man, like for me, I was like, no, thank you. You know, let's go have a vacation. Let's go chill, and it was a good time.
I actually did the same thing. There was 15 people at my wedding, and I wish there was less.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Those
if
people
you're one of
are
the
great
15 people
that
wedding, you're watching
exactly
this.
Like they're friends and family, and you'd love to sit down in their living room as individuals and just like chill, chat, do whatever. But when you put them all in a single space all at the same time, and everybody doesn't know each other, and they're not even talking to each other, and then they just all want to talk to you, you're like,
there were 15 people in my wedding band.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
We had my wife's favorite ska band played at the wedding. There were like 15 people on stage.
Let's
ska
see
bands.
here. There were other things. Oh, yeah. Just watching a lot over on YouTube.com asks, there was a teaser about good things to come to those that hodl. And then an emoji of the Game Pass from Alpha Season 1. Could you tell us whether it may still be worth financially to hodl? I just want to address it, but also say not financial advice, right? We don't do that here. So your decisions are always going to be your own. Frankly, what Sebastian chooses to do is his choice. And so there have been times where he's been in here in a game jam, and then he's just been like, literally all of you get a land. Like, so we can't control this guy. He's a wild card out here. Yeah, he does whatever he wants.
I don't think that last one's happening again, but just
it's probably not going to happen again,
probably
given
not
that there's hundreds of submissions now. But nonetheless, he just decides. He just decides, because once upon a time we only gave lands to the top 3, and then he was like, no, all 10, and then he was like, actually plus 60 more. You know what I mean? Like, it was wild. So
back when
you never know what's going on out here when it comes to that. But nonetheless, if you have the season pass, just go look at Sebastian's tweets. Somewhere deep down in there, I think it did say like, good things come to people who hodl. So what can you do? What can you do?
I don't know what that means. He has not told me. So
nobody knows what it means.
Nobody.
Provocative.
Yeah. He's keeping tight-lipped about that one because What, Lozen? We canceled our wedding to save animals. Got married at the courthouse. Had tacos and a shot. And the chat is moving this story. And went directly to a parent-teacher conference where they told me our 6-year-old was freakishly smart and they wanted to test her. Best wedding ever. That sounds like a good wedding.
It really does sound great.
I didn't have tacos at my wedding, and now I'm kind of disappointed because
there was
I'm half
absolutely
Mexican.
tacos at my wedding too, and now I feel a little closer with Lozen.
For me personally, I always felt like it was never going to be about all these other people. Like, even, it'd be nice to have my mom there, but whatever, right? Like, you're not getting married to go hang out with somebody else. You're getting married to get married, right? And so it was a good time, chilling. You can go see family after. You can go see friends after. You can be like, hey, I don't want a bunch of stuff. It just, we're happy.
This is now
an experience.
This is now a post-marital therapy stream. So
that's right. You're listening to the sounds of post-marital therapy on NPR. Okay.
Actually, that sounds bad. Like, because it makes it sound like it's after the divorce. I was just thinking like the opposite of pre-marital, but whatever.
There it is.
Okay, so let's see. Are there any other Game Jam related questions that we should answer pre-divorce? Yes.
No, don't put that evil on me.
No more marriage therapy. We're done. That segment is over.
Folks, if you'd like to chat more about your post-marital, if you're back to your post-marital therapy sessions and you'd like to chat more, you can follow Alex at Kamisaze over on Twitter.com.
My DMs are closed now.
Don't DM him. You know what I mean?
You
can just see the content. You can chat inside his threads, right? You can follow me at DVisionX. Lucas, which preferred platform would you like to be shouted out on right now?
Twitter.
Since you got like 40 different Twitter handles, I would like for you to say it out loud.
I have one Twitter handle that's concerning to this, and that's Lucas is right.
Thank you so much. I've seen others.
There absolutely is.
All right, so appreciate you all for joining us here today. We're chilling, we're chatting, we're clicking, we're slapping.
Mainly
slapping buttons out here.
Not a slapping button.
King of crypto, you're going to want to own your assets, probably.
I mean, everybody should.
For the Alpha 2.
Just good advice.
Alpha 2. Thank you, Joseph.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you,
Thanks, Lucas.
Hey, today was amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Andy and Julia in the chat.
I'll see you guys.
Everybody else hanging out. VPie.
You can come back on Monday. On Monday, we got gonna have some Panda Pops in the chat here early in the day, and then late in the evening, 3 a.m. UTC. I think 3 a.m. UTC or 2 a.m. What's the math on that, dude? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here. We're gonna be hanging out late in the show. Good morning, afternoon, evening show starting on Monday. We're chilling. Thanks for hanging out.
I love this play out music. It's amazing.